All right, so you found that perfect place.
Right.
The offer is accepted, and you're practically drowning in boxes.
Yeah.
Everyone's probably telling you to just focus on packing and finding movers.
Right.
But hold on. We're diving into a hidden opportunity. The time before the moving truck shows up. Those pre-move-in home improvements.
Yeah. It's funny. Most people are so focused on the after,
Right.
but an empty house is like a golden ticket. It's like having a backstage pass to do all these upgrades. That would be a total nightmare once all your furniture is in
Oh,
place.
yeah. One of the sources mentioned this guy who moved into his dream home
Uh-oh.
only to discover this super strong cat urine smell
Oh, no.
embedded in the carpets.
Oh.
Imagine trying to rip those out with all your stuff around.
Exactly. And that brings up a crucial point. Flooring should be your top priority. Whether you're replacing or refinishing or even just doing a deep clean, doing it in an empty space is a total game changer.
It's like trying to paint the floorboards while balancing on a stack of boxes.
Yeah. Plus, think about the extra labor costs. If the crew has to spend hours just moving furniture around.
Absolutely. And speaking of cost-effective upgrades,
Yeah.
painting's another one that's 100 times easier in an empty house.
Oh, for sure. A fresh coat of paint can totally transform a space.
Yeah.
Plus, who wants to move into a home that reeks of paint fumes?
Right. Not to mention the potential for, like, accidental splatters on your belongings.
Yeah.
Empty rooms mean better ventilation, faster work, and often lower labor costs.
Definitely. Speaking of things that can get messy,
Uh-oh.
let's talk about those dreaded popcorn ceilings and walls. You know those textured surfaces you often find in older homes?
Those are a big one. Not only are they visually outdated, but they can actually be dangerous.
Right.
That popcorn texture sometimes contains asbestos,
Oh,
and removing it creates a massive amount of dust and debris.
Huh?
Containment is way easier in an empty house.
Okay, so we've covered flooring and painting. What's next on the pre-move-in to-do list? Let's talk closet organization. Think about the satisfaction of unpacking into perfectly organized closets with everything having its designated spot.
That sounds like a dream come true,
Mm.
especially after the chaos of moving.
Right. And the best part is having those shelves and organizational systems installed beforehand means you can customize them to fit your exact needs. No more cramming things in.
All right, so we've tackled the inside. What about essential outdoor upgrades?
Well, if you have children or pets, or even if you just value your privacy, installing a fence should be high on your list. It's about creating a safe and comfortable environment from day one.
Plus, it's so much easier for those fencing contractors to work without having to maneuver around patio furniture or gardens or, curious toddlers.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of fences, it's worth mentioning that some areas require permits, so it's always a good idea to check local regulations early in the process.
Great point. So we've covered the big ticket items. What about those smaller but still crucial tasks that often get overlooked?
Ah, yes. The details that can make a big difference in your safety and peace of mind. Let's start with something as simple as changing the exterior locks.
Okay, that makes sense. You never know who might have a copy of the old keys.
Exactly. And it's such a small investment for a huge boost in security. Along those same lines, make sure to check and replace the batteries in your smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors.
Those are definitely must-dos. And while we're talking about simple but important tasks, what about replacing the HVAC filters?
Oh, absolutely. Fresh filters not only mean cleaner air, but also a more efficient system. It's a win-win for your health and your wallet.
So we've covered safety, security, and air quality. What other potential hazards should we be thinking about?
Water damage is a big one. Even a tiny leak can cause major problems over time. Mold, mildew, rotting, and even structural damage.
Plus, trying to fix a leak when your house is full of boxes would be an absolute nightmare.
Exactly. Addressing any potential leaks before you move in will save you a lot of headaches down the road.
Okay, last but certainly not least, we have to talk about childproofing.
It's never too early to think about creating a safe environment for little ones, whether they have 2 legs or 4.
Right. Covering outlets, securing cabinets, installing safety gates. These are all things that can be done easily and quickly in an empty house, giving you peace of mind from the moment you move in.
Absolutely. So far, we've tackled those essential upgrades that are 1,000 times easier in an empty house.
Right.
Flooring, painting, even tackling those pesky popcorn ceilings.
Right. And we dove into safety upgrades.
Yeah.
Changing those locks,
Yeah.
making sure the smoke detectors are in tip-top shape, and getting the HVAC filters replaced for that fresh, clean air.
Right.
But now I'm curious, what are those upgrades that might not be life or death essential, but can really boost your quality of life in your new home?
You're thinking about those little touches that transform a house into a haven, right?
Exactly.
Let's start with the heart of the home, the kitchen.
Ah, the kitchen. The place where everyone always ends up congregating. If you've been dreaming of upgrading your kitchen appliances, I bet this is the prime time to do it.
Absolutely. Can you imagine trying to wrangle a new refrigerator into place when your cabinets are already full of dishes and the countertops are covered with, well, everything?
Nope. Plus, you can start enjoying those shiny new appliances from the moment you move in. No waiting, no hassle. Speaking of kitchens, we can't forget about the countertops themselves. They really set the tone for the whole space.
And if you're planning on replacing them, doing it before you move in saves you the stress of protecting your belongings from dust and debris. Plus, you can choose a material that perfectly complements your new appliances and cabinets.
Creating that dream kitchen from day one. Now let's talk about another room that deserves some pre-move-in love. The bathroom.
Ah, the bathroom. It should be a sanctuary of relaxation and self-care.
Oh, yeah.
And the right upgrades can really elevate your daily routine.
So what kind of upgrades are we thinking about?
Well, if you've been eyeing a new shower head faucets or even a fancy new toilet, pre-move-in is the time to go for it.
Plumbers will be thanking you. It's much easier for them to work in an empty bathroom, and you won't have to worry about using a different bathroom while the work is being done.
It's all about minimizing disruption and maximizing enjoyment. And speaking of creating a relaxing atmosphere, let's not forget about the power of lighting.
Lighting can make or break a space. Pre-move-in is the perfect opportunity to upgrade your fixtures and create a lighting scheme that enhances each room's mood and functionality.
Imagine dimmer switches in the living room for cozy movie nights, or task lighting in the kitchen to make those culinary adventures even more enjoyable. And don't forget about outdoor lighting for curb appeal and safety.
Okay, so we've covered some pretty glamorous upgrades, but what about the not-so-fun stuff? Like maintenance.
Maintenance might not be glamorous, but it's crucial for preventing costly repairs down the line. And pre-move-in is the perfect time to make sure everything is in tip-top shape.
Like what, for instance?
Well, for starters, get that HVAC system inspected and serviced. A well-maintained system keeps you comfortable and saves you money on energy bills.
That's a great point. Speaking of energy efficiency, what about an energy audit?
Energy audits are fantastic for identifying areas where your home is losing energy and recommending improvements that can lower those utility bills. It's a smart investment that pays off in the long run.
And while we're thinking long-term, let's not forget about the roof. It's literally the shield protecting your home from the elements.
Right. A damaged roof can lead to all sorts of problems, from leaks and water damage to even structural issues. If your home inspection flagged any roof issues, it's crucial to address them before you move in.
And even if there aren't any obvious problems, it's still a good idea to have a professional roofer give it a thorough inspection. Preventative maintenance is always better than dealing with a major headache down the line. Okay, now let's switch gears to something a little more fun. Landscaping.
Landscaping is where you get to really let your creativity bloom. Pre-move-in is the perfect time to tackle those landscaping projects you've been dreaming of.
I'm talking about planting a garden, installing a patio, creating a cozy outdoor seating area, maybe even adding some trees or shrubs for shade and privacy. The possibilities are endless.
And you can design your landscaping to complement your home's architecture and personal style.
Now, I know landscaping can be a lot of work, but you can always hire a professional if you need help with the design or installation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or if you're feeling ambitious, you can always tackle some of the projects yourself. Either way, pre-move-in is the ideal time to get started on those landscaping dreams. We've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We've gone from kitchen and bathroom upgrades to lighting maintenance and even landscaping. I feel like we've covered all the bases.
We've explored a wide range of pre-move-in home improvement ideas, from those essential upgrades to those little touches that really make a house a home. But before we wrap up part 2, there's one more crucial aspect of pre-move-in prep we haven't touched on yet.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. What could it be? All right, so we've covered those essential upgrades, those quality of life improvements, landscaping, even the not-so-fun stuff like maintenance.
Right.
What's this crucial aspect of pre-move-in prep we haven't tackled?
It's all about crafting that feeling you get when you first step into your new home.
Oh,
You know, that sense of arrival. You want it to feel exciting, welcoming, like you're truly home.
it's like setting the stage for a grand entrance.
Hmm.
What are some tips to really nail that first impression?
Start with the front door, make sure it's in great condition, and give it a fresh coat of paint.
Okay.
It's literally the first thing people see. A new welcome mat and some vibrant potted plants can instantly add a touch of warmth and personality.
Ooh, and don't forget about outdoor lighting.
Yeah.
It can really highlight those architectural features and create a welcoming glow.
Absolutely. Now, moving inside, make sure that entryway is clutter-free and inviting. You want to feel a sense of spaciousness and serenity the moment you walk through the door.
I've read that adding a few personal touches, like a favorite piece of art or a vase of fresh flowers, can make a big difference.
Those little details can really bring a space to life, and don't underestimate the power of scent. Whether it's a scented candle or some essential oils or simply opening the windows to let in the fresh air, a pleasant fragrance can instantly make your new home feel more inviting and relaxing.
Speaking of making a house feel like a home,
Yeah.
we have to talk about personalization.
Yes.
It's about going beyond just unpacking boxes and really making the space reflect you.
It's about infusing your personality, your style, and your passions into every corner. And doing it before you move in gives you that blank canvas to work with,
Right.
letting your creativity run wild.
So where do we even begin?
I think it starts with identifying your personal style.
Go ahead.
What kind of atmosphere do you want to create? Are you drawn to minimalist design, modern vibes,
Well-
something more bohemian, or something totally unique? Once you have a sense of your overall style, you can start layering in elements that bring it to life.
So if you're all about bright colors and bold patterns, you might go for artwork, textiles, and accessories that showcase those elements.
Exactly. And if you prefer a more subdued and calming vibe, you might choose neutral tones and natural textures.
We can't forget about those sentimental items that hold special meaning.
Yeah.
Photos, travel souvenirs, family heirlooms, those are the things that truly make a house a home.
It's like weaving your personal story into the fabric of your new space.
And speaking of stories, books are another fantastic way to personalize a space. A well-curated bookshelf not only adds visual interest, but also reflects your interests and passions.
It's like giving visitors a glimpse into your mind. Don't forget about the power of plants.
Oh yes.
Adding greenery can bring life, energy, and a touch of nature indoors.
Whether it's a few potted plants, a vertical garden, or a full-blown indoor jungle, plants can transform a space and create a sense of tranquility and well-being.
Plus, they purify the air and add a pop of color and texture. Okay, we've covered incorporating your style, sentimental treasures, books, and plants. But there's one more piece of the personalization puzzle that I think is especially important when settling into a new home.
I'm listening. What is it?
It's about creating a sense of place, that feeling of belonging and connection to your surroundings. And one of the best ways to do that is by incorporating elements that reflect the local culture and history of your new community.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
So it's not just about bringing your story into the space, but also weaving in the story of your new surroundings.
Exactly. You could start by exploring local art galleries, antique shops, and farmers markets. Look for pieces that speak to you and reflect the local aesthetic.
And learning about the history of your neighborhood can spark some really cool ideas.
Yeah.
If your house has a historical background, why not incorporate some decor that nods to its past?
It's about creating a space that feels both personal and connected to its surroundings.
I know this all sounds like a lot to take in, but remember, personalizing your home is a journey. You don't have to do everything at once.
Right.
Start with those key pieces you absolutely love and build from there.
And most importantly, have fun with it. Let your creativity flow and don't be afraid to experiment.
Well, I think we've officially covered it all. From practical tips to inspiring ideas, we've explored a whole world of essential pre-move-in home upgrades.
We have.
I hope you found this deep dive helpful and maybe even sparked some excitement for transforming your new house into a true dream home.
Remember, a little planning and preparation can make all the difference in creating a smooth transition and a truly enjoyable experience in your new space.
Yeah.
And who knows, you might even discover a hidden talent for interior design or landscaping along the way.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, happy moving.